All right, so this is week 7, day 2. I filmed the vlog when I got out the gym, but then for some reason the camera just stopped rolling for some strange reason. And so I decided to have my dinner first and wrap it up. So today I did a run and I ran pretty much a 5K distance in about 36 minutes. But I was like, well, let me see if I can push myself a little bit today. And I slipped up again because I didn't charge up my headphones. I didn't charge up my headphones, so I was thinking I had all the juice I needed from my headphones. I was about to get down, get busy with it. Then it powered off. I was like, okay, they're dead. So about 10 minutes into the run, I had to figure out a way to distract myself or to do that. And I remember listening to David Goggins talk about not depending on music or other things while you're running because what happens when they go away? And so while I was working out, now I mentally figured out, okay, what do I do to pay attention or what do I distract myself with? Thankfully, at the gym, they got TV screens and things of that on the TV. It has Star Wars on, some BET Tyler Perry movies, and I was trying to read the captions, but they're a little far away. Maybe this is an old prescription, so I was like trying to see it. But in any case, the run went extremely well, and the cool thing is, if I can reach down and get it, I actually bought some running shoes. And the interesting story was I actually went out to Lenox Square to look at some shoes. These are out in Buckhead, and I went out there and I saw these are the ones I got, but I didn't get these from the store because they were really expensive at the mall. But I was out there, and I wanted to see what the mall looked like when post COVID, and definitely, people were out there with their masks, and it actually was very normal, except that a lot of stores you couldn't go into, and like the Nike store was like a big line. I was like, why is there such a big line at the Nike store? And I know that Alexa stopped, and I know that there were a lot of people there. And oh my gosh, I remember going through the food court, Panko Chicken. They had my favorite Japanese. One thing I'll tell you is that I love Asian culture, Asian things. I love Japanese food. They had Saku Japan there, and that's somewhere I used to eat when I was chauffeuring. And even, I can remember like trying to limit my intake because I was tracking how much calories like a nice teriyaki chicken with the rice with the veggies would be, and that's like a 1,400 calorie meal like instantaneously. So it was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I was definitely tempted, but I did not bite. And long story short, I found some shoes on Amazon, and they were less expensive. And these are actually running shoes. So I said, okay, well, I'll just get some nice Under Armour running shoes because my stubborn self sometimes will just use what I have to go after what I'm going after. So I was using my work shoes as both running shoes and work shoes. And, I would come home, switch up everything, get fresh socks in them, keep always keeping the socks extremely fresh. And next thing you know, it's like the heels are worn out. And I was like, I'm not about to buy another new pair of Balance shoes because new pair of Balance shoes are expensive. They're very high quality, but they're very expensive. And I think this is like my third pair of New Balances I bought. And I can remember the reason why I went after those again was I was trying to prevent my feet from hurting because I was doing a trip to LA with an old friend of mine, who I don't talk to anymore. We've gone our separate ways. But um, I was trying to do everything I can because even at that time, I remember I was overweight and I got the pictures too. I got pictures somewhere. Yeah, and I was trying to do what I can to leave my feet hurt because that's one of my things I was dealing with was my feet hurting, and that probably could have came from the back issues. And so fast forward, and then on top of that, like the heel will get worn out a certain type of way, and this has happened repeatedly with all my shoes. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna spend almost $200, or I maybe spend two. I don't know how much, but they were expensive. It was a good amount of money that I would spend on these shoes that I would just wear out the way that I wear them out. And I'm like, I'm not trying to wear them out like that. So with that, I'm like, So long story short, I did get these shoes. I was really feeling crappy today. Um, Rainy day, just an isolated day, just really felt uninspired. And coupled with my situation, I'm dealing with that. And it's kind of the sad thing. It's like when we start talking to people like, yeah, you're dealing with something, you know, they sort of say, I'm sorry to hear that first, and then they kind of back up. They kind of back up, and you don't hear from them anymore. And it's like, is this like a guy thing? Like a guy can't talk about things that he's going through or something? I really wonder about that, because it just feels like whenever I'm like really going through something, so much to the point that I'm like saying it out loud. That's why it's so hard to open up to people. That's why it's so hard to say what's on your mind, what's really on your mind, because you're remembering the patterns of people, and even new people you meet. You're like, okay, I'm going through this, but and this is seriously life changing, and you don't really hear from these people. And I guess people just back up, or I guess I'm a man, so I'm expected to have all the answers and have it all figured out and stuff. I'm not sure what that is, where that comes from, but this really sucks. And and I'm still kind of just dealing with this job and this situation here, which I'm pretty much coming to terms with what I'm going to do to make this year work. It's not how I want it to work, but it'll work. But it's not how I want it to work, and it's I want things to go more the way I want them to go. But oftentimes these things are monetarily related, and it's frustrating, you know, that I guess things are set up that way. Well, in any case, I didn't let that stop me from working out. I did work out. I did focus on what I needed to focus on, and I ran for 40 minutes, and it kind of makes me think that maybe I can run a little bit longer than that, maybe about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, which would get me up to that 3,500 calorie limit I'm trying to get to, which equates to 1 pound of fat. So, if I'm doing like 500 calories on strength training days, maybe I can, or a little bit less than that, maybe I can do a little bit more on the running days. So, because I think I burned about 700 calories or so again, or 800. I think that if I'm doing like 36 minutes at about 5 to 600 calories, if I go for an hour, that's easily over 1,000. You do that 3 times a week. It's easy to get the last 500, just by working out and doing other things. So that's the thing. But I still got more work to do and all of that. But it's okay. But it's still kind of a mixed emotional time. I definitely feel better when I work out, because I feel like I'm doing something positive. Um, and hopefully things will improve this year, where I can kind of communicate with people, and people aren't so busy. But as an adult, everybody's busy. Everybody's busy. So yeah. Well, that's another update. And the running, I kind of feel like I got down. The strength training, still got some work to do. But this is just the seventh week of strength training. So we'll see where that goes. So all right, on to the next video.